Hello. Empty. We're walking into now is the old Westgate property, old Westgate area of Beaverton. If you're a millennial, you probably are still young enough, old enough to remember the old Westgate Theater that sat on the Cedar Hills Boulevard end of this property on the other side of these apartments. I remember watching all of these get built. It wasn't actually that long ago, and it's what I like to call an American matchstick build. Cheap as fuck. Rush to completion from start to finish. Cheap as can be materials. And of course they try to make it look way higher end on the outside, because of course they do. But it's all but an illusion. Never look at the man behind the curtain. After all. Has an interesting feel though. It's not as bad as the new neighborhood over in Amber Glen. That thing feels dystopic. Speaking of the Westgate. In fact, now that I think about it, that means that probably right where the street is and the sidewalk we just walked on was where the Westgate Theater was. Because that's about the right amount of space inlaid from Cedar Hills Boulevard for the parking lot all the way to where the theater sat. So the theater would have been right here. Old Westgate. Not much further that way down Cedar Hills Boulevard is actually Beaverton Mall, which I still insist to refer to it as, rather than Cedar Hills Crossing. Nah, it's Beaverton Mall, buddy. Leave me alone, don't act me. You get spoiled when you have sweet gums, which Hillsborough plants a lot of. You really get spoiled for color. Because you get all the most brilliant, gorgeous colors out of sweet gums every single year. You don't out of maples either, sorry. You don't out of oaks, as you can see. It's just general browns and slightly, like, scarlet colored hues. The whole thing's a parking garage, which is absurd to me. Bar, of course. Alright. Like how this is in the dead center of Beaverton's transit-oriented development. district, and because of the Max line and then Beaverton Transit Center just over here. And then they still just have these like massive fucking parking garages, because of course they do. Can't escape it, I suppose. I'm going to jaywalk, because I'm going to pretend like it's 1929 or 1924, whatever the hell that became a thing. Gorgeous. Hello. How beautiful is that, bud? God damn. That time of year where even berries are coming in. The autumn berries. Alright. Get on to Rose Biggie. Over here is the Cedar Hills Boulevard Goodwill. To Westgate we go. Believe it or not, even with all the new construction, Cascade Plaza West over here is still ranked, I believe, in the top 10 in Beaverton for height of building, if I recall correctly. It might be top 20 now, but it's probably top 10. I'm pretty sure it still is, which is just ridiculous. But everything you've already seen is about to be topped by what's going in over here, just across the street in that corner, across Hull. Oh, believe that, huh? Didn't realize it was in such bad shape. In fact, looks like a meth house, and then boarded up, and then you had Bucktooth Lizard Blvd just sitting there. Alright. Now, as far as I remember, although I checked today to remind myself so I could give a dissertation on it, but apparently this building and the building next to it, they were going to redevelop it into, I think, apartments, I think is what it was, like 3-story apartments, something like that. But I can't find it on BURA's page on the City of Beaverton website. But yeah, so it's that building, the Hall Street Grill, and that building right there. They were gonna tear out, redevelop, and now we can't find, or I can't find, anything about that anymore. And that wasn't even that long ago. It was like 2 months ago, I think. I looked that up. But yeah, the stores in here have changed a lot since, especially Hometown Buffet went out. But even like 2015, I'd say like everything was shifting and changing in terms of the clientele that they had, in terms of businesses that went into this strip mall. But this is one of the main subjects of a video I'm going to do. If you're watching the walking video, but Buffet Palace. Only been there once before it shut down. It was not memorable. The only thing memorable was finding out that the stereotype about Asian people is absolutely correct when it comes down to being able to be so tiny and compact, eat as much as they want, and I mean heaping dinner platter sized levels of food, engorge themselves quickly on it, and then go back for literally 4, 5, 6, 7, some of them I saw, and one of them was like 5 foot. And super skinny, and somehow their stomach didn't even descend with 7 platters of food in them. It's wild how that shouldn't even be possible. But this property is going to be redeveloped into potentially upwards of 12 stories, which good urbanism. It's better than the stupid 4/1s and 5/1s that is every American suburb is obsessed with. Potentially 12 stories, probably going to be closer to between 8 and 10. But the city of Beaverton and BURA, which is the urban redevelopment agency, they opted to have a max cutoff height of 120 feet. And in case you don't know, the average height per floor is in a building is 10 feet from basically floor to top of floor. So that's in the more like mid-rise and high-rise buildings. But I suppose we're gonna cross back over there, get a closer up look at the property and shots, and then we'll move on down center to the transit center again. Obvious UC. Too many advertisements these days, man. I just realized the shoes up there. So dumb. Whether you are a pedestrian or a motorist, I highly recommend watching traffic signals, especially through the places you go through relatively frequently, because the traffic signals will actually tell you when you're going to go. You'll get used to it pretty quick. It's definitely another UC. So like, you can get an idea for it. It's not just the footprint of the building. They're going to try to redevelop it into the parking lot part way, but they also want to keep these trees, like these two over here. I think they want to keep those two. Probably actually the weeping birches. I mean, they might even want to keep all these on the edge of the property here. I'm not sure about this one, but I didn't see the building and the blueprint and the footprint here, or in the plans touching this. I don't even think it's going to go up to the corner. It should. I don't think it will. Especially considering, again, the requirement is maintain the trees, apparently. So, but yeah. It's technically not completely walled off. It's just walled off to traffic, so I'm going to go in with that parked officer. You're missing a light. Parked officer is going to pull up on me, fine. So be it. But it's not like completely demarcated, so I'm sure I'm allowed to be in here as long as I'm not myself a vehicle. So yeah, imagine something literally like twice as tall as this. That doesn't look 60 feet to me. It looks maybe 50, but it probably is actually closer to 60, because if you put a basketball hoop there, and it is 6 stories apparently. So actually that could actually be like 65 to 75 feet. So, I mean, not quite as twice as tall, but like this whole thing going up, becoming there's a hecky going up too. So it's again probably for the No Kings protests and dominantly Portland, but so yeah, if you can imagine that, it's like a tower and be one of, if not the tallest building in Beaverton, and then like everything over here is just still low density. That would be super interesting to look at. But because they don't have any plans to get rid of this or redevelop it. They should, they won't. Or, and it's something I always talk about or think about, including to myself all the time, about these kinds of redevelopments, is even if you want to keep the strip mall, cut off the stupid little caps, right? The arches. And then build on top of it. So basically you can still redevelop the property without getting rid of that building. If it's perfectly fine fettle and everything, just keep it. And then fucking add 3, 4, 5, 6 stories or whatever you want to it. And it would work. But yeah. It's interesting how this building also is looking almost identical to the Izzy's in Beaverton Town Center. It's like in the same condition and everything. But yeah, and then the building footprint doesn't really come to the south at all, or the north. It stays kind of where it is, but it goes further west. It stays, I don't think it extends further east either, but if I recall from the blueprint. I actually saw it and looked at it today, and I just didn't think to actually pay attention to it, which I should have, but I mean, yeah, like a big ass building just towering in here. It would be super obvious, including to the taller buildings in Oldtown and downtown Beaverton, but we're going to focus on the Delicari because that used to be Hometown Buffet, and it still should be, but they went out of business and then became yet another Asian store, so of course they did. We're gonna pretend it's still there for my own sanity. Thank you, bye. Okay, but yeah. One of the UCs coming back again. Actually that might not, no, it does have a spotlight on it. Undercovers are such painfully obvious police cars. It's so stupid. There's not anything about it that's remotely not obvious. I'd argue they're more obvious than fully marked units. The light bar on top. But, alas. Stories for being a little bit older is not bad though, at least. There you go. I was gonna say what's with the hazards. This is that they didn't know if they wanted to turn in there or not. Turned out they did. .503 Records. Oh, that's an interesting plate. I've never seen that plate before. That's super nifty looking. That's so cool. It's colorful. Cuyahoga. Metzger. Barn grill. No, El Mezcal. My bad. The bike shop's out. There's a super big bike shop here too. At the end corner, I think it was, or was it? No, I think it was for yarn's sake and in that building. I think it was literally the whole thing. Either that was in the corner, but she gone. The original Beaverton bicycle shop, I think it's still there though. Shot of the side profile of the research center. This is where we came from originally. It was a Traeger shop at some point. We know those existed. It's pathetic. It was originally a bike, well, originally. Well, last I remember it was a bike shop. Big leaf maple. Look at you, you dinosaur. Yodel. Well, that's awfully tiny for a yodel, but that's a yodel statue. See the path where people have been going down into the creek. I've always been kind of curious about the locusts that they plant in Westside Beaverton. But yeah. There's a pillow and a backpack. Why not? It would really get you out of the elements, but give her hell. I wish they would redevelop this whole thing, the auto row, if you will, and then either incorporate the old Pizza Hut building or redevelop it too. Because, I mean, there's so much wasted space in that, man. Oh, look at the chicory. Look at the chicory. Sweet. Definitely seems to be one of our most resilient native plants. Is chicory. It keeps showing up all over the place, especially in disturbed areas and suburbs, I've noticed. It's neat. Type 2, I think, in the front. That's type 3 in the back. See, look at all the chicory. You see this? Like, technically, we can't go on this property. Look at all the chicory. Look at it. Look at the chicory, dickory. Ooh. Super medicinal plant. You see what I mean by like how they just adore disturbed environments. They're popping up everywhere. So they're super resilient. Oh, I just realized this is an apple tree. Still some Orpingtons on it. See, apples are really small, and I know historically whenever apples are small throughout the season, like around here, that is specifically, apples, when they stay small like this, no matter what variety they are, they always, historically, that always meant that we were gonna have a cold winter, a cold and snowy winter. So, very interesting. But this whole property right here, you see it? You feel it with your eye vision thing? Pretend it's not redundant. This whole property they also want to redevelop. This is the Lombard West, I believe is what they're calling it. Development. And I love how they're calling it Lombard West because it's just on the west side of Lombard. But the way that you read the page for the development at Buffet Palace, which is Hall Plus Center, it's really bizarre because it gets confusing because you're like Lombard West and you get really confused because like it's to the east of that obviously, but they make it sound like it's to the west of it. It's just very bizarre. But this whole thing they want to redevelop, and they've tried to develop this property so many times, it's ridiculous. And same with that one with all the Canadian geese. The reason why these have never been developed, every single time they try, they fail miserably. There they is because these properties have consistent major rat infestation issues and flooding problems. They're, especially that one, they're super obsessively flooding, especially in obviously the late autumn through early winter. So really rather interesting to say the least. All right. People just always getting so lazy and littering these days, I swear. People enjoying the Canadian geese. Gooses. Well, in that case, I don't mind if I yes. Hello. interesting because there seems to be No Kings protest down in Tigard or somewhere around there too. If somebody's taking the 76 down, or some people are headed that way to take the 76, which is very interesting. I was found that very bizarre that people were getting off at Beaverton Central and walking south towards TV Highway. But yeah, I mean, there's a handful of people that were heading out there to with their picket signs and shit to go to a No Kings protest. And I'm just very confused by it. Yeah, on one of those 76 down to Tualatin. So really rather weird. The 52. Very easily, if I wanted to, take that back home today if I want to, but I'm not going to. Well, maybe I will. Probably not, though. They also apparently are planning, the city is planning on redeveloping along, well, at least they're planning on extending and doing something different with Millikan here, so that Millikan can properly like connect up to everything else for once in its existence. And they want to obviously improve it and everything, and look at that Motel 6. For the record, yes, that Motel 6 is in fact as seedy as it looks. Always has been, always will be. I mean, like, the fact that it's even operational, people still stay there is hilarious to me. I hate these inset beg buttons. But I mean, that is such a prime candidate to just tear out and redevelop. Holy crap. They've obviously redid that place, and then I remember when they built these, it also was not the most time ago, it was relatively recently. And of course expanded the shopping center a bit. Hello. But they mix me, if you will. Also, I saw they wanted to do something with car toys. Not car toys, but the property in between. I think the grass area, they wanted to change it to something. I always forget that 76 exists for some reason. If you saw one of my older videos from a year or two ago, I think 2 years ago now, possibly, it might have been a year ago, they were still in the middle of constructing these apartments over here. So,
wait, traveling south.
yes, we know. Look at that big nasty strode. It's fucking beautiful.
Wait.
And of course you have the video. Hold the wheel, that's the third, maybe fourth thing that thing's been since the Burgerville went out. Turn signals first, that makes sense. I think they also, if I recall correctly, I think they want to try to redevelop the old food store there. I can't remember what the hell it's called for some reason right now. But, yeah. Accurate auto. Recently updated that because year or two ago when I was by here, that was not looking like that. Right, there's a business stuck in there. Forgot about that. No, I actually want to go this way.
Wait.
First. Look at the petunias.
Wait.
It's beautiful. Just tripped on the damn rail. There's a surprising amount of vehicles parked in this lot, despite the fact that there's literally nothing. Oh, grand reopening. Wait, what? No, yeah, I was gonna say that's from like a year or two ago, and they went out. They just never removed it. But here we are. This place, I'll put it up on the screen in text because I don't remember what the hell it's called. And that's if I don't ever see it. But when we were here a year or two ago, this was half constructed on this end. This one was like 3/4 constructed. Those ones were pretty much completed. They just had a little bit of facade work put on. So, pretty neat. And BURA, which is again Beaverton Urban Renewal Association, I think, again, or administration, one or the other, is what that stands for. They own this corner property here, which is not all that big, but they want to redevelop that too, apparently. And I actually can't remember, but I think that this one might have been included here, this building, but they want to redevelop this into something. I can't remember exactly what. I don't even think they had an exact idea yet of how they wanted to redevelop it, but rooftop deck, which there is photos of if you go and look at this place. Modera, that's right. And you look at it on Google Maps, look at the pictures. There's a few nice pictures from that deck, and it gives you a better view than you'd expect, apparently. You know, things like the HVAC system and stuff on the Beaverdam Pharmacy. You know, those kind of... Dos Hermanos Bakery. Bakery. Old historic Beaverton Pharmacy. That's why I wanted to go down here. I think I'm actually gonna continue this way. I wasn't going to originally, but I'm going to because I want to come back the other way. Now, so we're gonna head directly to the library, basically. Happy hour, $2 oysters. That is the first time I've heard of anything like that. That's actually funny. Ooh, look at the meadowlark. Pretty mural. I never even realized it was there. Sad petunias. There's a lot of actually redevelopment opportunities for BURA if they wanted to along here anyway. I would actually turn that street we were just on into a pedestrian plaza, basically, just pedestrians only. So once again, there's another perfect redevelopment opportunity right there. Especially across from that, actually, would make a lot of sense. It's unfortunate they built that big ass parking garage on it though. It does suck. Oh, maybe they're gonna host they're hosting one up at that park up here by the library. That's probably what it is. Fucking Eeyore. Is that Dumbo? Can't tell. Okay, yeah. There's one up here. God damn it. I don't know if I want to pass through that. Is that a ghost unit? No, it's not. But the cops are just chilling at the coffee shop. I just want to go to the library. Oh god. Made an error. In that case, I guess across here and then I'll go left. Substantial crowd in there, man. I do not want to be going through that. I'm good. That's a cool yard. Hello. Hi. Oi, oi, oi. Good old Sucker Ave. Oh, good. It's strangely peaceful back here. I don't understand why. I can't imagine. For row houses, it's not bad, but they're like trying to be fake European about it. It seems. Oh boy. So I guess that's what they were trying to catch the 76 for, but I don't know why they would want to walk, or wouldn't want to walk up to it from Beaverdam Central. It's like maybe 5 blocks? They're pretty small blocks, so. Of course. I even got Washington County helping assist with the... Oh, good lord. Yeah, it wouldn't be Oregon without inserting random DEI stuff into protests that have nothing to do with what they're doing. Yeah. We're gonna be over there soon. Welcome to the library. One of the things I hate about libraries is that you're supposed to be so quiet. You're supposed to pretty much whisper. Speaking of sweet gums, by the way, which the camera does not appear to be accurately showing, unfortunately. Hello. Jesus. It's a massive one, huh? Of course, it's an Among Us group. I just want to go to the I hope the library is not locked down. It isn't. Okay, good. If we get it. Ooh. So, Westphalia, right? No, Ovanagan. Yeah, it's just a Westphalia technically. Badged. Hello. Oh, what is it? Dustbuster vans. Smoke outs. Of course. Also very northwest. Can't have a random Trekkie, over obsessed Trekkie coming in like that. Not an exit. Well, it is for me, sir. Ruffled collar. Straight back to the 16 or 1700s. Why not? Till it's like a 40s house. Hello. Yeah, these are like 1940s houses, you can tell, because of not just the panels on the outside, or what do you call that? Why am I forgetting? Siding. But also, because of their size, their shape. I'll tell you one thing, I do not fit inside of those houses very well. Especially when they have a staircase. I will be taking off my head and or my knees. Look at that. The sun on it. Fucking majestic. Glamorous urbanism shot. Alright. Hello. I'm actually I was gonna go all the way to Lombard, but I'm actually not. I'm not gonna go to the 88s in train to Beaverton. I'm just gonna go right back down here because there's still so many people coming to that protest, and I'm just not about it. The Pariah's family, no drama. How much do you want to bet that's not true? Cute little boxy. Black-eyed Susans. Why not? Help me! Help me! Help me! Help! If you don't know where that's from, I disown you. Thank you. Get my Patrick Warburton on. Oh, I know. Yzma's in her chair, right? There we go, girl. Go. Get the snack. But I refuse. Okay, there you go. Let's see, that would have been better. Not bad. Yeah, they're not bad, those apartments, but they're still just 3 stories, which, again, better than nothing, but look at you! You fancy bastard. Oh, there's actually a path right through here. Well, take it. Look at this. Planted daisies. Mostly Alaska daisies, it appears. Dorg. Hey, I was gonna say that's a sunflower, but that's blatantly not a sunflower. That is a tree. That's a fig, then, I'm assuming, right? Or I love these like dinosaur, like Cretaceous, Jurassic era leaved plants like these. And it's soft and fuzzy too. It just makes it like 3 times better. It's like silky velvet. Oh, that is so good. Look how huge it is. I have a 8x9 hand when stretched out like this. 8x9. It's fucking immense. I love it. It's not a fig, actually. It can't be a fig because it has very much the wrong shape. But that is so cool. I wonder what that is. I would love for somebody, if they know, to tell me, because that is awesome as heck. Looks similar to a condula, but I don't think it is. Look at this. You can tell that like everything is. This is the whoops. This is the style of builds now. But it doesn't look very good, but it could be worse. It could look like freaking Windhaven. At least in terms of color. It's not much worse. Big ol' holly. That's Buddy right there. You know? Of course you got your ashes. Super cool. It looks like oversized Bermuda grass or something. Or underdeveloped campus. It's pretty cool though. Shot like that. It's neat. That very 60s, 70s, almost wingding style of architecture there. And that place, which is really freaking cool. They turned a house into an Ethiopian place. It's a house, but it's also, yeah, it's actually a restaurant technically. Super cool. I want to try that probably at some point. Oh yeah, they actually made their backyard into a place where you can sit too. I'm not pointing this correctly. That is really freaking neat. Should actually be on the crossing to the other side of the street for this, but it's okay. Oh yes, it looks like shit. Modern shit. Yeah, that should have a rapid flashing beacon on it, so it's even safer and easier to cross. But alas, we can't have nice things, can we? Well, I guess we sort of can, when they decide we can, that is. Old Buick. Just so common around here still. Verso. The color schemes are just so bad, dude. It's bacon season. Bacon. Eat more bacon. It's the SSA. Social Security building. You know what? We're just gonna cross-cut. Fuck it. I've always liked these kind of beam works though. They're cool. It's ranch pizza. That's like this. $3 off. Well, I'm assuming the prices is probably pretty steep though. And yeah, I like how this one is like, I think it literally is on TV Highway. Farmington. And I will always call it Farmington and TV Highway because I'm from the further west, so of course I'm going to call it that. I'm from Otloa, God's sake. What do you expect me to call it? But, yeah, like, the density's still kind of shit. It's only 4 stories. Like, if you're just about on Farmington and Lombard and downtown, why only build 4 stories? I don't get that, but Make more sense to have more density. Hello. But yeah. I like how there's more density technically in these buildings, being a 4/5, than there is in those closer to the Stroads and the transit center and everything else that's center town. Doesn't make any sense, but there you go. I also don't get those insets. I noticed that like up top on some of these, there's like a bunch of inset. Like there's the actual window, and then you can see they slant in towards the apartment. It's really bizarre. I don't get that design cue, but give her hell, I guess. This is apartments again. Scoop the poop. Nobody ever follows the signs, dude. Weeping birch. Do that be a good birch. They make me feel like more of a man. Manly mans. It is sweet gum. See, some of them, they actually have like more muted, faint colors. But they're still so pretty. Ridiculous. There's those embankments, so we can cross right here. Beaverdam High School also got reconstructed recently, now that I think about it, but we could go down that way, but I refuse. I love how this is the long way around too. Yeah, I thought so. I think they're going to try to back up the park there, but you can't park there because there they go. They're going right back the way they came. I don't know what the hell that was about. I reversed into them and then traversed. Hey, another apple tree. Sweet. But yeah, see, like, smaller businesses like these, I feel like, that have these weird parking lots that are technically houses turned into businesses, I feel like those are also things that should be bought up by BURA and redeveloped. You can keep the business in it, obviously. There's absolutely zero problems with that, but it's preferable to, you know, it's technically a street, apparently. According to it, and obviously it's a do not enter, so I can just walk against the grain of traffic in here if I want to. Just look behind me and make sure I'm not in anyone's way. This is not actually a street. It's officially registered as one, but it's definitely not. But interesting. This is like kind of a downtown type of thing. Oh, look at the mural. That's super neat. What? Barcelona? I don't care. Look at that. It is repetitious though. It looks like. Maybe. Yeah, this one is almost the same over there, not quite. Maybe that's then that's either Three Finger Jack or Mount Washington. Right here. I want to say Mount Washington, but I think that is Three Finger Jack. But maybe it is Mount Washington. I don't know. They're right next door to each other, but and then that one over there, I'm pretty sure is Mount Hood. Interesting. Oh wow, that just took me back to elementary school. What the heck was that smell coming from? Jesus Christ, that's the last time I smelled that was elementary school. Fuck, it smelled like an elementary school. That's wild. Odd smell, yeah. It's the other side of that and the back side of the post office. I can't tell what, I'm assuming like HVAC or something's in there. Probably? Because I don't know why you have that little extra half wall there otherwise. Mo Dada Beaverton. Oh ho ho. That's another pizza place. Interesting, they call it a food hall when it's just the bottom floor of the place. And it appears I should have once again gone the other direction. And just kept going towards the Stevie Highway from there. because every time I get to Lombard, all of a sudden there's traffic on these streets. There you go. Wood-fired pizza. Oh, I just realized that that's there. Farm fed fit. I'm not sure how that would work for sure. Oh, right. I forgot. And then this place right here. This used to be old Stars place. It was Stars forever, and then it just sat empty as Stars. And yeah, it's interesting. I remember, like, I was like, I think maybe 10 or 8. I was actually probably like 6 to 8 when I asked my parents, what the hell is Stars? They had to explain it to me. But it was it's a strip parlor is what it is. But yeah, even had the stupid like Las Vegas tour buses that for some reason, like party bus you could get on. Never saw them leave the lot, go figure. But that's what that turned into. Korean barbecue place. It's neat that they have this little place on this little business, whatever that restaurant is. Traffic control. Looks like a U.S. Air Force logo. Oh boy. There's an 88. Oh no, 78. I forgot that goes down that way. I only think of the 88 on Lombard. Oh no, I want this. Sorry. Yeah, I haven't walked this island for like well over a decade, so I'm like kind of confused. Like, where is it? Speaking of the Stars, actually, that Buffalo Wild Wings, once upon a time for like 6 months, was a Hooters. It's so funny how like short-lived these places. Well, actually, Stars was there forever, but longer than Buzz Alive, I think. But still, it's just kind of funny how they both went out around the same time, but the Stars was still Stars. So. You have the crosswalk, dude. But yeah, I remember before they kind of reconfigured this, and they reconfigured this I think a second time after the West got yanked through, but being stuck behind a freight train crossing the rails here, just like we were stuck fucking forever. The traffic got so badly backed up because I think we were like stuck for an hour behind this train that kept going like crawling back and forth across this piece of rail. It's one of the stupidest intersections ever, just because of the rail. But fortunately Pacific and Western doesn't really use this right away anymore, so it's not really too much of a problem. Want to go to Tualatin? Or sorry, Lake Oswego, my bad. I'm dyslexic, leave me alone.
Some people would say, no, that's dyscalculia.
I don't care. I don't. I simply don't. I have 2 West videos, by the way, as well. I have one on the normal Colorado railcar DMUs, diesel multiple units, and then I have another on the Bud RDCs, actually, when it was like 59 years old at the time. From, what was it, like, it was like, I don't think it was Tri-Rail, I think it was like Trail something, Railways or whatever it was, from North Carolina, but, yeah. And those also are, of course, diesel multiple units, but that's how these ended up looking, which I kind of figured, again. I'll probably put a thumbnail up on the screen, in case you didn't see that video, it was actually pretty rough, but it was just a spur of the moment video I made. But naturally you always have to have at least one person's fire alarm going off for about 5 hours. So these they tried to make toast. Or some of them you vaped like one puff and somehow it just sets it off. It's like, okay, cool, rad. It's always crazy to me how fast complexes can be moved into like this, where like almost all, if not all, the units are filled up in a matter of like maybe a month or two. It's just super interesting to me. There you go, you go to Masters gets free advertising. And Izzy's, is it still there? I don't think so. Also, the fact that BURA does not own the lot where Hollywood Video was is also kind of depressing, because like it's literally in Beaverton Town Square. I don't understand that one, but there you go. You know what? It doesn't really matter. If we're not gonna get this straight. I think it was a straight, but I guess I could have had it. Ah, there's my 88 finally.
Wait.
Look at that.
Wait.
Oh, I'm like, why is this the fucking siren for the crosswalk over there? That doesn't make any sense. Oh, piece of junk Gilligs. Gotta love them. I just realized how cracked that Lombard sign is. It is not a happy camper.
Wait.
Yeah, no, the Izzy's is definitely still there. I can see it. The building, that is. Yeah, then you got a 52. Like, quite literally, both go right outside my house. But because of this means I'm not going to be able to catch either of them unless I want to spend another long time here. Not a donk, but close enough. There is still a property down here that I want to take a look at because it's another redevelopment opportunity. And they're considering, I got a 54 too, they're considering making a part of it pedestrian only, which is kind of cool. I just wish they would do the whole damn thing from at least that point. I think it's a Cedar Hills Boulevard or Rose Biggie. I think it's Cedar Hills Boulevard. Between Rose Biggie and Cedar Hills Boulevard. And there's another smaller property in there, but I'm not going to do that today, I don't think. Plus we're running out of light.
Wait. Wait. Wait.
Auto row. Ugh. TV highway. I refuse to call it what you want me to call it. Actually, since it's coming to the end of the video, I want to ask people who might still be here, which is like a quarter of a single human being, if anyone remembers Nature's and then turning into Nature's Wild Oats back over here. They had the cheapest, most, it's seemingly wicked fresh catfish you could ever buy, and it was just to die for when you made it cornbreaded. So good. So good. Also used to be this like teacher slash learning school, or store, I meant, not school, over on the opposite side of this building. Besides, you know, Dine and Pizza Hut, of course, which is the key there, the most important aspect to this, but yeah. Look at that. Depressing what they did with the creek, eh? Poor fella. Alright. We pretend we're gonna get on the west. For absolutely no reason. But we're not gonna do that. Right, I forgot they're rearranging Beaverton Transit Center again. Oh god. So all the bus stops are now temporary suddenly. Good god. Stuffing everything here. Jesus Christ. You know what? I wasn't going to, but I think I will actually go back there again. That's why not. I don't understand why they keep fucking with Beaverton Transit Center though. Like, it's the original layout still made by far the most efficient sense. And it just confused everybody and pissed everybody off afterward, understandably, and rightfully so. And now, fucking ridiculous, dude. But yeah, I decided it's obviously coming onto a line from the garage from Millikan. Decided I'm actually going to go back into the round, and we will actually go to at least one of those properties. The thing is, it's been long enough. I don't really remember when exactly where exactly they are. I think one, if I recall correctly, is located right next to Tom's Pancake House, but I'm not entirely sure. But let's go walk over there. Maybe walk through and by the Beaverton City Hall, and then we'll either walk the rest of the way to Millikan, or we'll walk back to Beaverton Central and end our little trip today. Yeah, within the next like 2 to 5 years, this could be developed. Buffet Palace could be up towards of between 8 and 12 stories at 120 feet if the developers and the city do decide to actually, in fact, have it built up to its maximum allowed height that they're going to allow. I guess the apartments across the way, slash hotel, I can't remember which one it was supposed to be. I think it's just apartments across the way from the Hall Plus Center development where the Buffet Palace is. That got scrapped as far as I can tell, just because, again, it kind of disappeared. And then, but you know, that still, I suppose, could potentially transpire. And then over this way, 2 more developments could go in as well, that are going to be potentially decent density. And hopefully nothing like that stupid Avalon or whatever the hell it's called there on where the greenhouses and nurseries were in Baseline and 185th. We'll find out. fern trying to grow in the little edge there. That doesn't make any sense. There we go. Hello. Just in time for a train. I mean, dumb. Hello. Right. Oh, I was getting confused there. But typically that train would just go, but for whatever reason it's not. I don't know why.
Northwest Beauty College. Sure.
I'm just gonna walk between the buildings, but who can? Like I can do that while I come back, I suppose. So yeah, I guess we have max train bunching this afternoon and evening because heading towards Portland because of all the No Kings protests. So I guess they have a bunch of bus bridges, which is in other words just buses doing the job of trains, which they can do way better anyway because they can adapt. You know what? Let's do this. Fuck it. Fuck it, why not?
Look at me being all audacious today. Gosh. So adventurously audacious. You just, you know, God.
Oh boy. 24-hour fitness. On the bottom floor, as it was. Although it might have been the other building. I don't remember. I thought it was back in here though. It's empty. Interesting. Yeah, no, that I'm pretty sure that was a 24-hour fitness. So yeah, it's just gone. I'm actually kind of surprised by that. The 24-hour fitness doesn't exist anymore. That's cool though. Such a shitty bit of business practice. Man, somebody has a fire lit right now, and it's making me very happy because it smells wonderful. Here you go, the round. Now remember, just like Orenco, this whole development was supposed to be at least a quarter, if not half. Which I think is a barbecue. Still, it smells amazing. If not half affordable income. And as you probably expect, especially with the naming conventions and the damn Hyatt, the answer is no, that did not happen. Because of course not. Just like Orenco. Almost everything, almost all the apartments in Orenco are actually, in fact, empty. Whee! Specifically because, God, look at how empty everything is. There is so many for leases still. This is true in like Hillsborough all throughout this big outstretched arms and wings of Hillsborough. This is true too. Like everything's just empty. 24-hour fitness building's empty. Everything's empty. It's ridiculous.
Does it smell like greasy burger and clog your gallbladders docked into your liver? Wonderful.
Actually, kind of pretty. In some weird way. Another Ethiopian kitchen. I don't think this is the same place, right? Wasn't it Ek? That one looks like it says it's Ed, or there's something more. Ma Ed. Ethiopia. Oh, autumn. Well, yeah. So most people seem to be at the Chwana barbecue. I am pointing this wrong. I've said this before and I'll say it again. It is almost impossible for me to be able to accurately point my damn cameras of any kind, whether it's my phones or otherwise, specifically because wherever I point it, I'm actually pointing it directly at something I want to film, and then for some reason the angle doesn't match what I'm pointing to. It's super bizarre. I wonder, do these actually have things in them? Nope. It's too old, apparently. Yeah. There's another angle of these developments. Hey, look, it's a Type 1. It's a Bombardier, 40-year-old trains. Let's go. Bombardier LRV, light rail vehicle, because they apparently, at least in the US, they never manufactured a light rail vehicle for anyone before, so they just call them the LRVs. It's pretty neat. 40-year-old trains. I love that Tramit also has 60-year-old trains. Well, it has 61, I think, this year, or 62. And the Bombardier LRVs are 40 and 41 respectively, and the what do you call it? The I smell something that's like clearly either Indian or Middle Eastern in there. That's driving me fucking nuts. Don't tempt me, goddammit. Yeah, so this is the lot, obviously. Well, technically it's a couple of lots that BURA owns that they want to redevelop as well. Of course, they have to compete with various other businesses to do it. So their thought is if they in fact get the ability to develop this, even more so, not necessarily, but even more so if they can get at least the pawn shop out, what they want to do is they want to turn this chunk of Millikan, I think all the way down to Cedar Hills Boulevard, Cedar Hills Boulevard all the way down to Hall, into a pedestrian-only plaza, which is really cool. It's about damn time we start doing it right. I tell you, goddammit. But, oh, fuck. That poor old growth. Looks like it was a cottonwood, maybe? No! Don't do that. But, yeah. It's interesting how it's actually double fenced, I just realized. It's a bit weird. Huh. Wonder why that is. No idea, I tell you, I have no clue. It's rather strange. But you know what, I've decided I'm already this far, I'm gonna walk the Millikan station instead of going right next door to Beaverton Central. Screw you, that's why, dude. But yeah, I think there's one more property in this vicinity that's literally, that they own, is literally on TV Highway, if I recall correctly. I may not be, though. But, yes. And I think also, not just the pawn shop, I think they want to own that building. They want to buy that one up, so they have this whole property. They want to buy that house up with the trailer. They want to buy whatever the hell this was and or is, and potentially that house too, to redevelop it as well. So, yep. You had your turn signal on early, bud. I waited for you. You dork. Anyway, and then tucked in here, if it's still there, is actually a card shop that my brother got me Magic the Gathering cards at, and then I proceeded to never play with. So there's that. But yeah, Cedar Hills Boulevard. This is actually a new building. I know this is true because for the amount of times, especially growing up, I've been through here, you did not exist, sir. But yeah, actually this whole thing should be redeveloped too, I think, personally. I really do, but there you go. Yeah, so it's the Arc Central. That's that whole apartment complex that used to be the Westgate Theater. And I tell you, I think I've been to like one or two when I was super little, probably a toddler at that theater. I don't remember a single time going there though. I just remember going past it. It was a wonderful thing. This is actually, you can tell this is that Nike era / Nike money is what this is. Because like every single little strip mall that's been made to be like this along Millikan or anywhere close to it almost always was built around the exact same time and was 100% unadulterated Nike money. Or influence, at the very least, if you want to be pickier about it. Influence. But yeah, I've never been down this portion of Millikan before, I don't think. I mean, just fucking look at how gorgeous, dude. Oh, so pretty. Look at it. Look at it. Look at the sweet gums. Beautiful, dude. Holy crap. It's amazing. See, it's another thing is usually when they plant sweet gums like these along streets, specifically where, at least around here, specifically where they're aiming to kind of grab your attention. So Waka over there, Waka Sheriff, and the Pacific Pride. Yeah, there's by the way, Walk Zipley. Like, their service is okay. Well, actually, it's good. But, well, their service in the sense of their internet is actually reliable, higher speed, good, fiber optic, very nice. But man, Comcast is also, like, literally so shitty that the Comcast building, literally here on Millikan, up next to Millikan Station, has every year, at least for a long time when my sister was there for a long time, like every single year she was there and beyond, they were known to be considered and voted the literal worst employer in the entire state, competing with TriMet and Nike and Intel, because they treated all their employees like complete shit. Go figure. And TriMet and Comcast have that very much in common. And during that period, Comcast was voted that, especially considering because like I think it was like an average of like 40% of their employees that have worked there for at least 5 years or more at this Beaverton location down the road quite literally would consistently commit suicide or attempt to, because that's how shit the work environment at Comcast was, at least at the time, and is. But yet Zipley somehow is arguably worse, according to my sister. She's worked for them now for like 8 years or something like that. And they're just increasingly somehow shittier and shittier to all their employees. So it's pretty neat. Ironic to be talking about things like that while you get to enjoy views of these fucking sweet gums, dude. Talking about pacifying. It's beautiful. For you off-road heads, yes, Iron Man rigs, or iron rigs if you will. quite literally, is a Beaverton, Oregon company, in case you did not know. I wonder what they're going to do with that, if ever. Iron rigs full by. Why not? Oh, look at that boat. Nice. Good dog. Spot nautique. Of course there's no sidewalk on this side of the road. Why would there be? The fuck? Notice where the Nike money's not going, even though we're actually pretty much at Kidder Corner, or adjacent if you prefer, to a huge portion of their property, along with Tektronix and Maxim, not the magazine. They have their own goddamn freaking truck. Fancy that. Let's go into here, into the parking lot. It's probably a lot safer to do anyway, so. Fucking slobs, look at all of them. Good lord. Past Boyd. Sorry, I'm trying to get to at least Taylor. I have zero clue what that would be. But sure. Bork. Listen to the train go by. Huh, interesting. Cool. So cute. Oh boy. Black paint. Yikes. Look at you. Yeah. Safety is for everyone, except those it's not. Which seems like as many these days. Fanny. Monkey service vehicles speak of the devil. Whee! I swear Nike owns like everything. And by everything I mean like 40% of like most of the buildings from like here to I guess it would probably be Evergreen and like John Olson or something like that, or Amberglow maybe. Hard to say. I think it's further than that though. I think it's like John Olson, but I can't quite recall. Substation. It's called the Tectronic Substation, hey. I see. Portland. God awful electric. Greedy electric, more like. Am I right? Got him fucking owned. I really want to make a Sim Park reference right now. And look at you all fancy in the middle of this ocean of grossness. How about it? Alright. I cannot wait to get home so I can go to the bathroom. I still haven't drank remotely as much water as I normally do. Walking this much and talking as much as I have, although it's not as much as I usually do. I think Comcast is in that building, that white building there. Something like gray, I guess. Sheet mellow building. You know? Ponderosa! Yes, ma'am. We do actually want this side. I'm just so used to getting off or using Millikan to go east, I guess. When I think about it, I do want the opposite side. There's the round right there. Just about. You wouldn't think so. I'm sure it seems like it's further than we've walked, but it is not. Of course, Nike owns a bunch of buildings back here, over here, over here, and then Nike headquarters just directly that way. A few blocks, and Tektronix is back in here. Maxim, like I said, is back in here, and all that good stuff. This is the first time I've seen this park and ride filled to the brink in ages. Surprising, honestly. But here we are. Back home we're gonna go.
They had her like her literally back and they didn't keep it too well. Yeah, so they had to